Hey everyone, this is Alex Weinert. I'm a physical therapist who currently resides in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour north of Philly. I just want to take this time to thank you for taking my application and reviewing it. And I'm looking forward to talking more, learning more about Pacific Rim, and potentially building a relationship together. So to answer your first question about what drew me specifically to Pacific Rim Athletics, well, it's a simple answer is the sheer uniqueness of the foundation of the program. It's not your typical cookie cutter physical therapist, any sort of cookie cutter sports performance program. And that's what's super interesting to me is that it's very unique and it's very driven by results. So you do a quick Google search on Pacific Rim Athletics and you'll find a bevy of positive reviews, people with significant weight loss. Everybody looks shredded to say ripped, super healthy. So I think that's something that drew me to your company specifically. And I've been working for the same company for the past 7 years, and I feel like I've maxed out my growth at the company. And our company is also becoming more productivity driven as opposed to what I feel is about treating the patients and the individuals first. I know productivity is an important part of business, as is making profit. Otherwise, you can't have a business. But once it starts to impact how the employee treats the patients and the care that the patients get, at that point, then that's when I'm out, and that's what drew me to start to find a new opportunity. And Pacific Rim seemed like the perfect chance to start fresh, start something that's totally unique to the field and to myself as well. So any new challenge, any opportunity for growth for me is something that's very exciting. So being remote is actually not a important aspect of the job. I believe that digital healthcare is the way of the future, especially with how everything grew with the COVID pandemic and telehealth and Zoom meetings and just receiving any sort of healthcare digitally has taken a leap forward by years. And I feel like Pacific Rim is definitely has the right model where you provide the sort of hybrid opportunity where you have the locations for the in-house trainings and gyms and things like that, but providing that remote care, I feel like is the way of the future. And you guys clearly are doing it right. So any opportunity to jump on board with a company that's sort of leading in that field is definitely something that's very exciting and unique to me. So for the second question about post-injury recovery, weight loss, elite strength and skill, why is that important to you? So somewhat of a long story, so kind of just hear me out. But so when I was 16, I ended up breaking my back. Now I wasn't in like a motor vehicle accident or I didn't like fall out of a tree or anything like that, but I ended up having 2 hairline fractures on what they deemed on my lower back. So when I was 16, when I was a sophomore in high school, due to chronic poor weightlifting technique for high school sports. So I was just literally cranking my back, doing deadlifts and Olympic weight squats and different Olympic lifts and things like that. Like the coaches they were just coaches, right? They didn't know what proper strength training was. It's more like, yeah, just like lift more. I don't really care like how you do it. So as a result, I was doing all this heavy lifting for high school sports, going through basketball tryouts with like intense back pain, shooting pains down both my legs, like couldn't sit for more than 10 minutes, couldn't stand for more than 10 minutes, couldn't sleep for more than 2 hours, constant intense pain. I ended up getting misdiagnosed with tight hamstrings, and now as a healthcare provider with a doctorate degree, my symptoms were cut and dry, where clearly I had some sort of serious back injury occurring with some sort of nerve sciatica-like symptoms. So as a result, my mom stretched my hamstrings probably 3 times a day for a couple weeks, and I got no better, obviously, because I had a broken back. So I'm still going through all of this, going through tryouts, this and the other thing, having trouble just sitting in class. Ended up getting cut from the basketball team purely because of my back injury. They literally said, we see you as a future member of the basketball team, but we cannot take you because of this lingering back injury. So it wouldn't be fair to have you sit out for the whole year when they can have somebody else come on who could play, which, understandable, sure. So that was super frustrating to me. We ended up going back to the orthopedic doctor. I got a CAT scan on my back. That's where the fractures were revealed. I had to wear a back brace for 3 months. And then that followed up with my second bout, actually, of physical therapy. I had physical therapy in 6th grade when I broke my right tibia and fibula, and had a terrible experience because I was 13 years old and I had to go on the bike every time to warm up for 10 minutes and keep the RPMs above 80, which was super hard for me. So I hated physical therapy. Many years later, as a 16-year-old in 10th grade, having a new approach to physical therapy was amazing. So I had a great physical therapist. I was definitely more mature, more into recovery. I had a passion for sort of proving coaches wrong at that point. So ended up getting a full recovery, had a great opportunity for physical therapy there. And then at that point, the company that I was receiving the physical therapy at, you had the opportunity where you could then proceed to transition to their new sports performance program. So that's what I did. And from that moment forward, I knew what I wanted to do in my career, which was help athletes, not necessarily athletes, but really anybody, prevent what happened to me. And then for those individuals that did end up having an injury, is that then allow them to get the full recovery that I did, plus the experience that I had when I was a 16-year-old. So I think that pretty much sums up everything in regards to post-injury recovery. If you're a physical therapist, that's your bread and butter. But for me specifically, I went through the pain, the misdiagnosis, the trials, the tribulations, and then the full recovery. And then from that point forward, then proceeding to work through their sports performance program that I stayed with that 3 times a week all the way up through my senior year of high school. So for nearly 2 years, almost 3 times a week, I was at that facility training, trying to achieve elite strength and skill. And that's pretty much what this question is asking. So not necessarily just the post-injury weight loss, elite strength and skill, but more of pre-injury / health maintenance to prevent post-injury recovery. That way you could allow for quicker and better elite strength and skill, all the meanwhile still working towards possible weight loss interventions, healthier eating, diet, nutrition, all those types of skills. So that was my long, super winded story about my horrible experience with my back injury. And then for the third question, is how would I help get and sustain the very best results? So one of the founders of the company that I currently work for, the original mom and pop shop that I started at, he and I had a discussion one time about showing the value of physical therapy. Why would somebody want to come to me and receive physical therapy 3 times a week when they're paying $30 a copay? So that's $90 a week. Why would I have to show them the value of that money, the value of the care that they're getting, right? So they're taking time out of their day, they're paying money, they might be on a fixed income, but I know it's my ethical duty as a physical therapist that, hey, it's my job to get you better. So that I need to show them the value. The value is okay, hey, let's come in, let me do some whatever, like stretch your shoulder, do some mobilizations, do some trigger point release, whatever. And like, okay, your pain is less. Okay, now let's do that motion that was previously painful. Is it painful? Yes or no? Oh, it feels a little bit better. Great. Okay, let's do a little bit more. Now let's do some exercises to help promote that recovery and those types of things. So that's showing somebody the value. And I truly believe that is what enables individuals, whether it's in healthcare, sports performance, weight loss, even just general business, that like, okay, hey, like I feel confident in this guy and what he's doing. He's showing me the value, so I'm going to continue with that. So I think that's the first thing that's super important, is showing individuals the value of something. And once that's been shown, then it's just, it's just so this may sound silly, but like, it's just my job to get those results and sustain them. So I'm a believer, like, hey, like if that's your job, you do it, right? You shouldn't get any applause for doing your job. So like if your job is to get results and sustain them, then I'm just doing my job. If you look at just general how my patients in the past 7 years have just reviewed in terms of myself and their experience. So I have a 5-star Google reviews. My net promoter score is a 92 of 100, which is well above PT healthcare industry standards. I have a high family friend previous patient referral. So I would say 50% of my current caseload as a physical therapist at my job is probably like that family friend previous patient. So I think I do a great job of building strong relationships with individuals, showing them again that value of what I'm trying to give to them and the value of what they want back. And just the experiences that I've had myself in terms of back injury, leg injury, sports performance, going through it and providing that empathy for individuals who might be going through similar things that I went through. And it's easier for me to connect and build that relationship. And then again, I'm just doing my job, right? If you want me to have somebody have elite strength and skill, all right, that's my job. Let's work through the foundations of the Pacific Rim athletics and kind of going through the different levels of training you have. If you want somebody to lose weight, all right, let's talk about nutrition, diet, exercise, mental health, those types of things. If you just want somebody to get better from a post-injury recovery, that's my bread and butter as a physical therapist. So hopefully those answer all your questions. Again, I'm super excited about building a possible relationship with Pacific Rim Athletics. I think it's a great opportunity, not just for me, but for you guys to bring me onto your team. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Great, thanks, bye.